Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Stoneblock 2. If you really enjoyed what we did in the last episode, make sure you hit that like button, and you can also subscribe if you're new and hit the bell to get notified of when my videos go live. You can also support me on patreon.com and get access to this server or my vanilla server. And with that being said, let's begin today's episode. We set up this magical processing system for processors, and it has made 6001 of the logic processor and 2002 of the engineering processor, and 200 and something of these because I made, I think, 4 stacks of pure Certus quartz crystals. So we have at least a little bit to get ourselves started, so we can get some more cabling if we need to, or some more interfaces and stuff like that require it. So over here, I have prepared a little bit of an area, and I did the whole pathway around. And we have a crystal growth chamber, which is going to take nether quartz, charged Certus quartz, and redstone, and turn that into Fluix crystals. And then we have over here regular Certus quartz crystals being turned into pure Certus quartz crystals with an enrichment chamber, which we will upgrade to an enrichment factory at some point in the future once we get a bit more mechanism-y stuffs. But for now, it's just going to be this, and I think it should be fine. Then over here, we have a Fluix crystal being turned into Fluix dust, and regular Certus crystal turned into Certus quartz dust. So nothing is configured just yet. The machines are just laid out. So I will go grab some item ducts and some servos and get my butt working on this and get it all hooked up and connected. One thing that we're going to need for the control of the machines over there are phantom faces, because we don't have any more. And phantom faces, I believe, require empowered diamantine crystals. So let's just get that out of the way for the moment and set up this empower here. I have some spectre coils, so we can just do that. And then we're going to toss a stack of clay, another stack of clay, a stack of clay blocks, a stack of light blue dye, and where did my diamond blocks go? Hello? I took out a stack of diamond blocks. Well... Oh, there they are. Apparently I tossed them in here for some reason. Okay. Did not want to do that. So light blue, go in there. We need to go to our atomic reconstructor and toss them down here. And then boop, should get diamantine crystal blocks, which we can then toss in here. We're gonna do a crate, and we're gonna do an item conduit, and we're gonna say extract on green, insert on red, extract on red, insert on green, and we can toss these in here, and that should make ourselves some empowered diamantine blocks, so we can make phantom faces. I'm just gonna let that go and do its thing. So with the item ducts, we're gonna do basically the same thing that we've been doing all over the place. We're just gonna do like this. One thing that I probably will do here, at least for this part, we need to keep a stack of each, or at least one of each items in here. And I don't think we can do that with a servo, because it doesn't have a destination system, kind of like the retriever does, where you can control how many items go into the system. So if we get a retriever, and the cool way to use less Enderium, just make iron retrievers, and then take Enderium, which I made a bunch of it in between episodes. So take a resonant retriever like that. Otherwise, this recipe requires 2 Enderium, so you can cheat by using just 1 by doing that little trick. So over here, we're going to set this guy up, and we're going to say we can do just 1 for the moment. So let's put this to 1, for example, and do 1 of each, and then whitelist and do that. So that should extract only 1 of each. And apparently it's extracting a stack at a time. So let's just remove it on that. I think that should put just... Oh, the growth chamber has some power, so it's doing some things, but that is working. And we can set this to, let's say, 64 once we get a proper export bus exporting everything. So one thing that we're going to need is nether quartz, and nether quartz is currently at spawn still, if everything will load. Hello? Lag? There we go. There's still our smeltery, some of our crates that we need to grab, and this setup. So I think we'll just do this. I have a moving wand here. We're gonna just grab this guy, and then the rest we can just snag like this, and then break all the conduits and get everything picked up. And we can also probably just designate a location for this, or I can probably just not run out of quartz, because we have, what, 30,000 in here? That's gonna last for a while, I think. And let's get this out of the way and put a torch here. I think that's the kind of center block. Yeah, and we're gonna fix that up at some point. So let's get back home. And we can just put our laggy game. We can put this quartz door back here. Said here, and we can then just rotate it. Nice. So we have quartz in the system now. We're gonna need a few exporters and a few storage buses, possibly one if I can do the whole trim thing. And let me just continue and set up all of these, and we should be fine. So I just recorded around 15 minutes of footage with my OBS being stuck on a single screen. So I just immediately deleted the footage because it's worthless. It was just sound. So I'm just gonna show you what I did and that happened in between here. Dark Gamer put a Fluix plug down here in between this one and here, and was draining my power, and I was very, very confused, and you don't get my general reaction because I was actually very confused, and I upgraded all my numismatic dynamos to the resonant tier and upgraded them all with auxiliary transmission coils to make more power, and this is now draining like a couple hundred RF per tick because it cleared out the backlog, and before it was just draining all my power. It was draining 8,000 or something RF per tick, which was kind of insane. So that is one thing, and I talked with Dark Gamer on Discord that next time when he's doing pranks, he can be a little bit more, not per se obvious, but at least put up signs so I know it's a prank. So there's not just something that is draining my power and it's borderline griefing my base, because it wasn't very prank-y per se. So if at least he would put a sign over here like, where is all your power? Or is something draining your power? Something in that sense, I would consider it more of a prank style. So we talked about it. It's all good. Everything is cleared up. And we lost a little bit of power, or probably a lot because it's draining all of my sapphires. But, you know, it's all good. They'll get remade back while I'm AFKing. And we have enough rubies, enough peridots to run this system indefinitely anyway. So over here, I set up everything that we need for making Fluix crystals, pure Fluix or pure Certus quartz crystals, the Fluix dust, and the Certus quartz dust as well. So how it all works is a little bit different than we had it over here, because I addressed a comment in the last video. We are just using this and an interface, and that is then triggering this guy, which is on redstone low, which is basically the redstone torch mode of the retrievers or servos or anything. So we don't need the NOT gates that we had before here, and that is pretty neat. So everything is connected. We have oak trim over here connected to the storage bus and to the export bus over here. We're exporting everything into the drawers that we need. Also over here, I did a few changes. Hello, that was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to zoom with Optifine. There we go. And I have oak trim connecting everything to a single drawer controller, so we can just use one storage bus instead of like 14 or so, and we can save up on channels that way. And then we're using a phantom liquid phase that is connected to the bioreactor up there, and we're transferring the biofuel over to this phantom liquid phase, which is connected to the combustion generator. And we wouldn't even need this phantom phase. We can just go directly to the combustion generator. You know what? Speaking of this, because this has a range of 16 blocks, why have a cable that is this long if we can just have it better? So we're gonna put this here, and then 2 cables, and we're gonna say extract always active, and we're gonna not say an insert, and here we're not gonna say an extract, and then we can take our phantom connector, and do that, and that works fine. We can say extract always active, and that is a much neater way without having two phantom liquid faces. Okay, so that's a bit of the work that I did in the last couple hours, and you just got it in like 3 minutes or so. So that's pretty cool. All right, let me figure out what we can do next, because now we have plenty of time in the episode, because I cut like 15 minutes of it. So I'm gonna figure out if we need to automate anything else from applied logistics. We could also start working on molecular assemblers and setting those up to start getting into auto crafting, which I think would be really nice, because we can then make all of the terminals. We can even make more storage cells and and upgrade these storage cells to the next tier. We can also do some questing while we do that, because we can collect each one of the storage cells quests, and also the assemblers stuff, and all of the crafting storages and all that. We can make some black hole units. We can probably just complete this entire tab, I think. What if we just go, do I have any more void crystals? If we go storage crate, this requires void crystal blocks, right? So let's do coal, and let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here we're gonna need empowered void crystals. So let's do 8 of these, and we can toss them to the atomic reconstructor. Okay, and we're gonna turn 4 of those into one of these. Hello, applied logistics? Will you work? Is you okay? What is happening? Everything is being configured. Oh, we have AE back. Okay. We can do that if we get some planks. Just do birch, it doesn't matter. This guy, medium storage crate, that's quest. And these I need to get empowered. And to get the empowered version, we need some charcoal, some flint, some stone, and some black dye. I think we have some floral black powder still. We have 4, perfect. We need to sort out a dye situation, so we might work on that next, I think. We could set up, actually, I was thinking we could do Botania and just use the flower that produces the flowers and then turn the flowers into the powder. Or we could set up a system where we place petals on the floor, we bone meal them, because we're getting bone meal from our sieving operations, and we have 57,000 of it. And we can use just the bone meal to do that, and then shear it with some shears that we can even put in an item repairer or something to get repaired, to get ourselves infinite amount of dyes. I know there are dye seeds, so don't scream at me, but I'm not using mystical agriculture, so we're going a different route. We could use the dye mixer from industrial foregoing, which I haven't used before. And this requires red dye, green dye, and blue dye. Blue dye is lapis, green dye is cactus. Red dye, I have beetroot. And then we would need different laser lenses for different colors. That could work. And I haven't tried this before, so why not? Why don't we just do that? I'm gonna stop with the empowering and everything, and I'm just gonna make a bunch of these dye mixers. And we can see if we can set up one for each of the dyes, and we can just export bus lapis, cactus green, and redstone or flora red, because we can craft beetroots into that, and we can cook cactus into cactus green. So let me figure out how I want to set that up, and we can do a bit of work on that. I tested out the dye mixer, and I tossed in a stack of rose red, a stack of cactus green, and a stack of lapis, and it produced 3 stacks of black artificial dye with a black laser lens. So I would need a laser lens for each one of the dyes, other than the ones that we're getting. For example, bone meal we're getting, rose red we have beetroot, cactus we have cactus green, but we could use just like those 3 to even make artificial green dye, because you can probably take, you would take 3 stacks of lapis, 3 stacks of rose red, and 3 stacks of cactus green to make, again, 3 stacks of rose red, 3 stacks of cactus green, and 3 stacks of blue dye. For example, if I made a blue laser lens and tossed in a stack of each, it would make 3 stacks of blue, which would just replace the 3 of those. And if we did the same thing for the other 2 dyes, you can infinitely loop them and you would stay at the same amount of dye. You don't get a net gain of it. So I think I'd rather just go with Botania, because that's going to be a self-sufficient system, as I'm not producing beetroots that fast. Plus, I mean, we're not going to be using red dye in insane amounts and to say at any point, but I think having a system with Botania will just be better, I think, to do anything and everything that we're doing. So I think we can just get started on Botania right now, and that should be fine, because I want to get into some other mods in here as well. So we need, first of all, a Wand of the Forest. Let's just get a lime one, right? No, that's not a lime one. Actually, we can't get a Wand of the Forest because we need our Pure Daisy, and then we need some wood, and we need some stone. And I have a mana pool already here, and I have some mana steel as well. So we can just grab that, because that's going to be useful. We can put this on some dirt. I probably should prepare an area for Botania somewhere. Possibly here sounds like an okay spot. I could go pretty much anywhere around the base. It doesn't really matter. Let's just get a tiny bit of an area, just like this. So we can do that, and then place some wood around. And what we can do is use our time in a bottle and do that. And we can get ourselves some living wood pretty quickly. There we go. And let's just do it for the living stone as well. There we go. And probably I can fit in another craft if we're fast enough. Maybe more. All right. Another wood. Oh, that lasts quite a while. Oh, it stopped right now. Okay. What we can also do, instead of using our time in a bottle, we can just do this, I believe. Yep. That does work. Okay. It's slightly slower, but it does work. So we have now living wood, and we can turn 3 of those into twigs, and we can craft ourselves a Wand of the Forest with twigs, and then we can grab ourselves the petals. Just gonna go lime green. There we go. Awesome. Is there a tab for Botania? I don't think so. We can collect our random reward here. 4 extra watermills. Nice. I have them set up here. I'll just put them like right here, so I don't forget, and we can set those up off camera. Okay. So I think I need a clearing for Botania with some grass. I'm gonna probably see what biome this is in. If the grass is really nice, it's beach. I don't know what the grass looks like in a beach, but I'm gonna choose an area where we wanna do Botania. I'm gonna dig it out a little bit, set up a little space, and that's probably gonna be an ever expanding area, because I wanna fit all of Botania on like one square or rectangle of sorts, kind of like we have here on our closed systems. And that should be pretty cool. I got some End of Flames in one of the quest rewards, I believe, and we can just super simply automate all of this. We can just add a mana pool. We're gonna bind this to here, and then we can bind all of the flowers to the mana spreader. You can also place the mana spreader first, and then any flowers you place in its vicinity are gonna get connected. And a simple way is just a pressure plate and an automatic precision dropper. And I'm gonna need one of those magnet blocks, because I'm gonna be starting to pick up blocks. So we can get a dislocation thingamabob, this guy. I think we have one more dislocator to use up. This requires draconium dust, eyes of ender, and blaze powder. We don't have an automatic way of getting draconium just yet, so we're gonna have to save up on those for a while. But you can do that and that. That should automate Botania. Are you gonna do particle effects? There you go. Botania, easily automated. End of Flames eat up coal. They can then toss mana into the mana spreader, and the mana spreader puts it into the mana pool. And that is pretty much it. We can even spread this to another mana pool if you want some more storage, but I think for now, one mana pool is gonna be fine. We could set up an exporter exporting coal directly into here. We could just do wood as well, because that also burns up in with endo flames. We could turn wood into charcoal or stuff like that, but I think for the moment it is fine. One thing that I might look into is having an automatic way with Botania to make mana. So I don't use any external resources, so we can make like a Botania tree farm, turn that into charcoal with Botania, and then put the charcoal with endo flames. I could also use some other flowers as well. In the past, I've used Kekimuras, which requires cake. So Daniel will be happy if I do that because it's cake and I need to automate cake. One other thing that I've used, I think in the past, I don't know if I used it on YouTube, but I used Gourmalilis, I think, the ones that eat food. And I've used a couple other ones as well. I used the shulker one, the shulk me not flower. That one was really cool to use shulkers. I used that in Enigmatica 2 Expert. We can probably use TNT as well. There's a lot of different options that we can use. If you have any suggestions, make sure to drop them down in the comment section down below, and I'll look at them and consider maybe some of them. So that's going to be pretty cool. But this is simply Botania automated, and I think I'm going to end the episode off here. I don't know exactly how long it is, but I hope it's long enough. So with that, I want to thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping you enjoyed today's episode, even though I missed out a little bit on my reactions and all that, because apparently OBS messed up and didn't record properly. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. You can also subscribe to see new videos. You can support me on Patreon if you want. And I will see you all in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye-bye.